Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. This is your chemistry lecture of grade 9 and I am your chemistry teacher Aparna Pandey from Arjun Progressive School, Lamachor. So student, as you know that in chemistry, we have started our chapter number 2. You all know this that in chemistry, we have already started our chapter number 2. And the name of chapter is matter around us pure. So students, as you know that we have already started this chapter and we have even discussed many topics related to this chapter. So in today's class, now again we are going to start one new topic and the name of that topic is separating the components of mixture. In today's class, we are going to start a new topic and the name of topic is separating the components of mixture. Now, as we are going to discuss about the separating the components of mixture. So first of all, let's revise the topics that we have discussed. As I told you in previous video that mixtures are of two types. I have told you in previous video that mixtures are of two types. Heterogeneous mixture and homogeneous mixture. Related to homogeneous mixture, you all know that in homogeneous mixture, the particles are uniformly distributed. Now, related to the heterogeneous mixture, as I have explained you earlier, the particles are not uniformly distributed. Particles are not uniformly distributed. In some heterogeneous mixtures, we can even see the different types of particles through our naked eyes, and in some heterogeneous mixtures, though different types of particles are mixed there, but they are not easily visible. So these all things I have explained you related to heterogeneous mixture. Now in today's class, as I said that we are going to discuss about the separating the components of mixture. So first of all, you all please remember this that when we are going to separate a mixture means we are talking about the heterogeneous mixture, because in heterogeneous mixture only different types of particles are in a condition that they can be separated. First thing. Second thing is students, now when we are talking about this separation of mixture, so see in day-to-day life, if you have seen that many times you are using different types of methods for separating the mixture. Suppose you have seen your mother or father, means you have seen your parents when they are going to prepare a rice, when they are going to cook a rice, at that time they are just picking the stone from the rice or any other particle which is not to be cooked. They are picking up that particle from the rice, right? So what is this? This is a type of a hand picking, means here also you are using a hand picking method for separating two different types of particles, right? Then suppose you have made tea. So you have seen that you want to serve that tea to someone. So before serving, you filter that tea. You just put that tea leaves over that funnel which we are using for separating, and downside your solution, tea solution is there. So what you are doing? You are using a separation method of filtration where you are filtering the solute particles upside and you are taking the solvent particles downside. So what is this? This is also a type of separation. So beta, when we talk about separating the components from heterogeneous mixture, so there are so many methods which we are using in our day-to-day life, like hand picking, sieving, as well as filtration. These methods we are using in our day-to-day life. These physical methods we are using in our day-to-day life to separate the different components that are present in the heterogeneous mixture. Now, these are very easy. These are the physical methods and we can do this by ourselves. But students, there are also some mixtures which are though come under the heterogeneous mixtures, but particles are mixed in a very fine manner, right? For example, ink. Ink is a type of a solution where different types of dyes are mixed in a very fine manner. In a very fine manner means when you will see ink, you will get a single type of a solution. But actually ink is a mixture of different types of dyes. So now question comes that suppose we have to separate such types of solutions where solute as well as solvent both are, or the different components are mixed in a very uniform manner. Then how we are going to separate them? So for such type of a heterogeneous mixture where particles are mixed and we want to separate them, but that particles cannot be separated by the physical methods like hand picking, sieving, filtration, then we have some other methods. Then we have to adopt some other methods for the separation of such components from the mixture. Now let's see what are these. Now, as I said to you that when such heterogeneous mixtures are not separated by the such simple physical methods, then we have to adopt some special methods for the separating of components. Okay, no issues, we will adopt. But then question comes that which method we will adopt and how we will decide that what type of method is to be used for the separation of mixture. So beta, the method that we use for the separation of a mixture depends upon the type of mixture we are taking. Try to understand what I am saying. The method that we are adopting for the separation of mixture, it depends upon the types of components that are present in the mixture. Okay, so means what type of components are there in a mixture, according to that we have to select our method. So in the list of methods, first we are going to discuss about the evaporation. The method that we are going to discuss is evaporation. So first we are going to discuss about the evaporation. Now this evaporation is not a very new word for all of you. What is this evaporation? You all know evaporation means when the liquid gets evaporated, right? So evaporation is a type of a method which we use for the mixture where one component is a volatile and the another component is non-volatile. Means evaporation is a type of method used for the separation of volatile components from the non-volatile component. So now what are the volatile components? See, as I said, evaporation is a method used for the separation of volatile component from non-volatile component. Okay, as I said, evaporation is a method that we use for the separation of volatile component from non-volatile component. So what are volatile component? Suppose you have a solution. So how you have prepared that solution? For preparing solution, you have used solute as well as solvent. And we know that solute is a solid particle. Solute contains the solid particles and solvent is in a liquid form. We all know this. This I have explained to you earlier also. So, when we are using evaporation method, so in that evaporation method, the mixture is a type of a solution which contains solute as well as solvent. Means, suppose we have solution. Now we have to separate from the solution. We know that solution contains two types of components, solute and solvent, right? This we all know. Now student, as I said, we have to separate the components from the given solution, and this solution has a mixture of solute and solvent. So evaporation method will be used for the separation of volatile component from non-volatile component. Now, as we talk about the solution, so can you tell me which part will be a volatile one and which part will be non-volatile? So, listen here. Solvent is a volatile component and solute is a non-volatile component. Solvent is a volatile component, okay? Solvent is our volatile component and solute is our non-volatile component. Okay, now I am saying that we are using evaporation method to separate the volatile component from non-volatile component. So, suppose we have taken a solution. So, in a solution, solute is there and solvent is there. So, first of all, we have to see that which one will be a volatile and which one will be a non-volatile. So, student, solvent is always volatile. Solvent is a type of a volatile and solute is a non-volatile. Now, solvent is volatile means that when we will heat the solution, when we will provide heat to a given solution, then solvent will change into gaseous form and escape out from that solution. Okay, when we say that we are, suppose now we have taken solution and in this solution we have to separate the component, and we know that here two components are there, one is volatile, one is non-volatile. So what we have to do now? Now we are going to provide heat to the given solution. Now when we will provide heat, then what will happen? Then students, the volatile component will evaporate. The volatile component will evaporate. Why? Because it is in a liquid form. Solvent is in a liquid form and we know that volatile solvent is a volatile component. So solvent will evaporate and at bottom the solute will left. Solute is a non-volatile component and solvent is a volatile component. So by using the evaporation method, we can separate such type of mixtures in which one component is volatile and another one is non-volatile. I hope now evaporation is clear to everyone. Then students, let's see now what type of mixtures we can separate by using evaporation method. For example, solution of means water and salt. We can separate the salt solution. How we can separate? By the evaporation method, because water is a volatile component and salt is a non-volatile component. So when we will evaporate, then what will happen? Water will get changed into a gaseous form and it will get escaped, and solute will left there in a container, and this method is used for separating the salt from sea water, right? Similarly, we have another type of component, yes, ink. Ink is there. So, the different types of components that are present in ink are also get separated by using the method of evaporation only. But When we talk about the salt solution or the sea water get separated through the evaporation method, so in the example of this one, direct sunlight is used for the separation. But in second example, ink one, so in that case, the separation of different types of dyes present in ink is not done directly through the sunlight. For that, proper heat is provided to a solution. From sunlight, such type of separation does not take place. Means we are not using sunlight for the separation of components present in ink, because many times dyes can decompose in direct sunlight. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Now we have discussed about the evaporation. Second type of separation method is centrifugation. So centrifugation. So students, second type of method is centrifugation. Now beta, as I said, the selection of the method is depend upon the type of the mixture. So as we have selected evaporation, where the type of mixture are volatile and non-volatile. So when we are going to use the centrifugation method, so beta see. Centrifugation method can be used where we have to separate the colloidal particles from the solution. When we have to separate different types of colloidal particles from the solution, then we use centrifugation method. Now what is this centrifugation method actually? So see beta, this method is based on the principle that the particles which are denser, they settles down and the lighter particles comes up when we spun the solution. Spun means जिसे आप हिंदी में कहते हैं मथना. Okay, so when we spun the solution, then the denser particles comes in bottom and the lighter one rises up. So for example, spun, you have seen many times your parents are using this type of method for separating butter from cream, right? For separating butter from cream, as well as this method is used in the washing machines for drain out the water from the wet clothes, right? So such types of examples are for the centrifugation method, and this method works according to the principle that particles have different densities. Okay, particles have different densities, that's why the denser one is settles down and the lighter one rises up. So due to the difference in their densities at the time of spun, the denser one settles down and the lighter one rises up. So based on this principle, we use centrifugation method, and such type of method can be used for butter from milk, for drying clothes in washing machines, as well as this type of method is very useful in a medical line as time of blood test and urine test. So this is the method which we use for separating the colloidal particles from given solution. Now student, let's talk about the another type of method, means type of method that we use for the separation of heterogeneous mixture is separating funnel. Now as I told you, the selection of the mixture depends upon the selection of the method depends upon the type of mixture we are using. So now separating funnel is a method that we use to separate such mixtures which are immiscible. Means such mixtures where two components are immiscible. Solution in which the two components components are immiscible. So for separating such components, we use the method called separation by using separating funnel. Now, in this separating funnel, beta, what happens here? As I said, we use such mixtures which are not miscible or which are immiscible. For example, mixture of oil and water. So what is this oil and water? When we mix oil and water, actually these are such type of components which are not going to mix with each other. So what will happen if we will mix them? As I told you earlier, when we mix oil and water, then a type of a separating layer forms between them. So student, this separating funnel method is based on the principle that two or more different immiscible liquids forms a separating layer. Okay? This method is based on the principle that two or more immiscible liquids forms a separating layer. Now, as I told you, example of oil and water. So, when we mix oil and water, we have seen that a separating layer is formed. Stops mixing the oil with water. So, in this method, in separating funnel, we take the type of a funnel which is called separating funnel, and we fill it in the different types of immiscible liquids, and we keep this funnel undisturbed for few minutes, and then we will find that every component is separated by making a separate layer which distinguishes the different components. And then how we can collect these different components? Then it has a cork. When we open cork, particular type of a component comes in a beaker. Then as second layer is there, so we can close the cork. Then what will happen? The one mixture, the one component that was mixed in a mixture can be collected separately. Similarly, then if again we will open the cork, the second layer of the mixture will come down in a beaker. Then again you can close the cork from the area where the third layer is coming. So in this way we can use separating funnel for separating different types of immiscible components. Then another type of method that we use for the separation of the components from the mixture is sublimation. Sublimation. Now sublimation is also not a new word for you. You all know that what is sublimation. As I told you earlier, when the component changes directly from solid to gas without going in a liquid phase. When a particular component changes from solid to gas directly without going in a liquid phase is called sublimation. Then this sublimation is a type of method we use for separating the sublime solutes from non-sublime solutes. Means sublimation method is used for separating a mixture where solid solutes are there, and from that solid solutes few solutes are sublime solutes and few are normal solutes. So by using sublimation method, what we can do that when we provide heat, there are such solutes that get sublime, and from solid they directly get changes into gas, and then they evaporate, or we can say then they escapes from the mixture, and the rest solid solute which is normal solute remains there only. So by using such method, by using this sublimation method, we can separate volatile solute from normal solute. Okay, volatile solute means such type of solute that can escape in a form of a vapors from there. Okay, So sublimation is a method is used for separating the solid volatile component from the mixture. So when mixture contains two types of component, in which one is solid volatile component and other one is solid non-volatile component. So as we provide heat to the mixture, the one which is volatile, it will get escape from the mixture, and the one which is normal will remain there only. It will remain there only. So this is by using such method also we can separate the. So such method we can use for the separation of solid volatile component from mixture. Now examples of solid volatile components are like camphor, ammonium chloride, naphthalene balls. But are mixed with if we mix them with some other solute, then it will very easy for us to separate, because as we will provide heat, these will undergo the sublimation and the rest solute will stay there only. So the example of such components, solid volatile component are camphor, naphthalene, ammonium chloride, iodine, etc. So student, in today's class here we have discussed about the four methods that we can use for the separation of that we can use for separating the different types of components from mixture. These are evaporation, that we use for separation of volatile component from non-volatile. Then the second one I have explained you, centrifugation. This method used for the separation of colloidal particles from solution. Then third I have explained you, separating funnel. This method used for the separating the two immiscible types of liquids. Funnel is a method that we use for the separation of two immiscible types of liquids. And then I have explained you sublimation. Sublimation is a method that we use for the separation of solid volatile component from the mixture. So these are the four methods that we have discussed. Many more methods are still there to discuss. So that we are going to discuss in our next video. So students, I hope whatever I have explained today you all will able to understand that. I hope you all will like this video. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.